All right, November almost upon us, and we have a slew of new cards, and not one, but two new activate cards coming. But first, a season pass card, Suitor. Suitor? Probably Suitor. Um, Now, even if a card is bad, it's worth having, usually, generally, because they either rework it, they buff it, or in the case of Surtur, they add in a card that makes it better. Scar was a season pass card that gets discounted by 2 in cost for every 10 power card you have on the board, 10 plus power card. Surtur, after you play a card with 10 plus power, this gains plus 3 power. So you play 2 cards, it's already above 10 power. Now you've got 3 cards on the board plus 10 power. Scar's free. This is the perfect Scar card, and probably made just for Scar. This card went through a lot of iterations in its time being data mined, having interactions with specific one card, and there's crazy things that were never gonna actually work. So, but I did create a deck that I think might work with this, and so what I've done here is I put in Quicksilver. Yes, I know, haters, whatever, but that is so that I don't have to run any 1-drops but Quicksilver. So we're always guaranteed to have that 1-drop when we need it for Coal Obsidian. You can play him on 1, you can play him on 2, you can play him on 5 with Coal Obsidian, whatever you need to do. And the general principle is play all your 10 plus power cards after playing Surtur, finish with Scar, and then whatever else you're going to play. Now we have Armor to protect a lane, Goose to kind of control another lane that we're going to play Scar into. Jubilee is to bring down something if we don't have anything else. But I don't believe Jubilee will activate Surtur if she brings down something over 10 power, because it technically wasn't played. That's different than something like a Venom, where we know from things like locations and whatnot that Venom will activate Surtur because the power is registered after his ability activates. So if you were to eat something with Venom, Surtur would activate, and it put Venom over 10 power, then Surtur would activate. But something like Jubilee, which is adding a card to a location, won't work. Now, I do have the Black Panther Arnim Zola combo in here, but you can really Arnim Zola anything in the lane, or in anything. It's also a good way to dodge maybe a Shang-Chi. If you have armor in one lane and you've got a couple of 10 powers, you can kind of try and take one of those 10 powers in the other lanes and move it somewhere else. And then that way you can hopefully dodge Shang-Chi. And also, if you do it on Surtur, you might get, 6 times 3. You'll figure it out. Almost a 320 or something, 319. Right? Because, 6, 12, 18. And then plus 5. Oh, it's over 20 power. Alright, cool. Anyways, Red Hulk, just good value. Why not put him in the deck? Something like Arrow's now 10 power, and she moves the card. That's good value, etc., etc. So, Typhoid Mary, you definitely want to have in a lane on her own. But underneath the armor, not so bad. You don't want to put her in with the any of your other 10 plus power cards. That just defeats the purpose. Typhoid Mary, I tried to make her work so many times. I'm super glad for this rework. Anyways, next card. So the next card, and actually the first spotlight card of the month, is going to be Frigga. Add a copy of the last card you played to your hand. A lot of people are thinking, oh, that'll make Anti-Venom better, quite obviously. But my first thought was, you want to play her out with something that's going to be super impactful, but you want to do it early. So I'm doing a zoo bounce list. And you can see here, one of the things that I love to do is copy things with Nico. And actually, I'll probably end up putting Nico in this deck now that I think about it. Because Nico's just fantastic in bounce. So, don't know who I'll get rid of. Come to that bridge when we cross there, whatever the saying is. But one of the things that especially during the season where Marvel Boy came out, was I loved copying him with Nico and playing down an extra Marvel Boy. And with Frigga, you can play Nico, copy Marvel Boy, Frigga to copy Marvel Boy again, then play 2 Marvel Boys and just rack up the points. Obviously, you're not going to be doing too much of that at bounce, but in a traditional zoo list, it can get pretty crazy, especially if you play Kyera to protect everything. Something zoo players are forgetting as of late. But anyhow, play your Hawkeye, your Marvel Boy, your Frigga, or rather your Black Swan, Marvel Boy, Frigga. You can play Marvel Boy, activate the Black Swan with Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and then you can zoo out on your last turn. Or there's all kinds of different things you can do with the bounce cards and whatnot. Complex deck, but that's where my mind went. It's going to be a great card to get regardless. So, all right, next up is Malekith. And while I think he is a fantastic character, I'm just not sold on the card. I'm not. I don't have a deck for him. I'm not sold. I'm not going to get him unless there's something that really, blows my mind. But even in Surfer, it's like, okay, I pulled down something, maybe. But he's a 4 cost. So he's not going to get a bonus of any kind from Surfer. And, it's just, maybe I play him on Wong and I do some shenanigans there. And then, but it's just subject to Eliath, which, fine, whatever. You don't really worry about tech cards. You just make a deck and, But, I don't know. You really have to, it's a lot of careful consideration. And I think he'll be a good card, yes. But he's going to go in the way of Anti-Venom, where it's a card that has its uses, its applications, and there'll be decks and people yeah. But, I don't know. Call down a 1, 2, or 3 cost and it reveals at the end of the game. Alright. 1 drops, never. You're never going to want a 1 drop to reveal at the end of the game. There's only a couple that you can even think of that would benefit their archetype, and it's just not. Even 2 drops. You're not going to want them to come down. These are cards that they're low in cost for a reason, because you play them out early, because they're impactful, best in the early game. Things like the Rocks and Yondu and all this stuff, Silver Sable, you get their effect early. So I just don't know. Somebody else is going to come up with a deck, but it certainly isn't going to be me. Definitely one that I'll probably end up skipping. Week 3, though. Week 3 is going to be crazy. This is probably the most hyped card of the month. There's another one that I'm going to talk about in a minute that everybody's looking forward to equally. No, this is the card. So it's an Activate, which is a game changer. I did not know until this morning when I was going through it that this is actually an Activate and not an on reveal, which means you don't have to play it last turn. So resurrect the highest power discarded or destroyed enemy card to your side of this location. So one of the fun things that Marvel Snap does, or Second Dinner, is they've kind of combined discarded and destroyed, where you can play like them together. Think of, or you can play them in either or. Think of like Wolverine and Dawkins and stuff like that. So this is another hybrid card for the destroy and discard. Destroy is really going to love that, because if it destroys something, it's not only feeding the null, but now you have the opportunity to bring that back. So, yeah, the deck that I came up with here is actually a high evo deck. So the plan is to lower the power as much as possible of your enemy's cards, destroy something, bring it back. Standard high evo now with Fenris. But one of the things that I thought about was everybody's thinking, oh, Shang-Chi last turn destroyed something big. But oftentimes you get these decks like Bounce or Zoo, which will have things high in power, but not above 10 power. And Shang-Chi only destroys things above 10 power. So here I'm utilizing Gambit to, on the last turn, you can destroy something, and then it doesn't really matter what you hit. You are taking away something from their side and adding it to your side, and that's just going to guarantee higher probability of win. Floating turn 5 obviously feeds the energy to Sunspot, and then procs the Cyclops, which lowers the Abomination and the She-Hulk. And then so you can play Abomination, She-Hulk, and Gambit last turn, spread the power, activate, boom. So that's where I'm going to go first. But the ceiling on Fenris is going to be absolutely so high. He's going to be a staple in so many decks. It's going to make a Shang-Chi meta that everybody hates. So then everybody's going to be trying to counter it by going under the 10 power, but also trying to have their own Fenris. That's going to be a game changer of a card, and I'm all here for it. Love this card. All right, so I said there was a card that everybody was looking at equally, if not more, and Gorr is it. Now, you remember Gorr from the MCU not being all that great, but fantastic character and a fantastic card. Ongoing +2 power for each on reveal card in play. So what it means is you're going to have a lot of Mr. Negative decks come out. That's what everybody's thinking, because he's a -1, you flip it, now he's a 0/6, and then from there his power only rises for every on reveal card on the board. And of course, you know, they do a lot of shenanigans with Jane Foster and Arnim Zola. So Arnim Zola splitting really any on reveal card, and then you've got 2, 4, 6. But he also can work with Thor and Beta Ray Bill. That's a very on reveal heavy deck, especially if you go into turn 7. Then you can play Odin, and you've got the hammers, and those are on reveals. So he's really going to work, and that's where I think he's going to work best. I didn't put a actual deck together, but you know the standard on reveal deck for the Thor and Beta Ray Bill. That has Guardians. Slot him in there nicely. Even if you don't go turn 7, he's a great alternate play to the Odin. So, really fantastic card there. And a really good grab. And then last up, so Deadpool's Diner is going to be returning. And the free card that we're going to be getting is King Eitri. 1/2, another activate. This is the second activate of the season. Draw a card that didn't start in your deck. Again, that's going to go right in there with the Thor. So you can see a theme is very Asgardian or Asgard focused season. Everything from Surtur, Fenrir, etc. And so this is going to help you to draw. Obviously the hammers, if you didn't get Jane, or you know, what have you, you want to play something else on turn 5, this is giving a little bit more leeway in that regard. There's other applications for him too. Obviously in Airsham, it wouldn't be bad to draw one of the cards from your deck, or even a counter to rocks being put in your deck or whatever. But as more things get added into your deck, which I'm pretty sure this will just be a stepping stone for future cards, adding stuff into your own deck, or at least that's my hope. I was seeing an idea or a card that came out in another card game. I won't even mention the card game, but it put these meteors in your deck, and when they get drawn, they deal damage to the opponent. Would be cool to have something like that that inflicted negative power on a card every time it was drawn, stuff like that. I'm sure, you know, the design landscape for this card, I just see it opening up. So really great card, and we're getting it for free. And it already slot nice with Thor as it is. So yeah, November is going to be a cracked, crazy month, especially with once Fenris comes out. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a giveaway for the season pass this coming week. So if you want to get in on that, make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube. There's going to be a link in the description. And you can head over to the Discord and get in on that. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Happy snapping.